On the occasion of the 50th anniversary of the Medical Service Corps, it is well to reflect on our proud tradition of service and support to the Navy Marine Corps team. As we seek the future, it is important that we treasure the past. The Medical Service Corps has its roots in the United States Navy as far back as 1775. The USS Alfred was commissioned then as the first ship of the Continental Navy. A physician was signed on, marking the birth of Navy medicine. At that time, Navy regulations required that members of the crew be appointed to assist and serve the sick and injured. These assistants became known as Loblolly Boys. They are the ancestors of the Medical Service Corps. To provide enhanced medical support, the rate of surgeon steward was authorized in 1841. With the advent of the Civil War in 1861, the designation nurse temporarily replaced the title of surgeon steward. In 1866, 3 grades of apothecary were authorized. War erupted with Spain in the spring of 1898. The Hospital Corps was founded on 17 June of that year. The rates established were Hospital Apprentice First Class, Hospital Steward, and the Warrant Naval Pharmacist, the commissioned ancestor of the MSc officer. This development marked the formal establishment of medical support and administrative professions in the Navy Medical Department. America acted in 1917 to halt a seemingly endless war in Europe. On the eve of United States entry into World War I, the Hospital Corps was reorganized, and warrant naval pharmacists were authorized temporary commissions in the Medical Corps. Commissions were rescinded following the armistice in 1918.
Dawn, December 7, 1941, the Pacific Ocean. A Japanese task force was also heading for Oahu. Mission, sneak attack.
Again, America was at war in 1941. The war put every aspect of medical support to the ultimate test. In response, Navy medicine mobilized a host of allied health scientists and patient care providers. A research division was established within the Bureau of Medicine and Surgery. Entomologists were recruited to support Navy and Marine Corps operations. Industrial hygiene units were established in Navy yards and industrial plants. The Hospital Corps Officers School was founded at the National Naval Medical Center. Waves were inducted in large numbers for volunteer emergency service. The Navy rapidly demobilized after the war. Navy medicine lost many personnel with necessary skills in the allied health and healthcare administration fields. To ensure retention of essential personnel, Congress established the Medical Service Corps as a staff corps of the Navy on 4 August 1947. The 1950s and 1960s witnessed change and growth. Administrative officers in naval hospitals assumed greater responsibilities. It was at this time that the MSc began to push to professionalize the Corps. During the Korean War, the Secretary of the Navy created the Women's Specialist Section in 1952. The Women's Specialist Section had oversight for MSc physical therapists, occupational therapists, and dietitians. In 1954, after the Korean War, the office of Chief of the Medical Service Corps was established. Captain Willard Calkins was appointed the first chief. The war in Vietnam presented greater challenges for the Medical Service Corps. Allied health scientists worked to ensure health and combat readiness. Medical technologists were commissioned in 1965 to manage Navy blood banks. The Women's Specialist Section was reformed in 1965 to admit male physical and occupational therapists and dietitians. The 1970s were an era of growth and change for the Medical Service Corps, as increasing numbers of naval hospitals and other activities were placed under the command of MSC officers. After a decade of struggle, the Defense Officer Personnel Management Act authorized appointment of a permanent one-star director of the Corps in 1981. Captain Louis E. Angelo was selected as the first Medical Service Corps flag officer. By the 1990s, the Medical Service Corps had witnessed tremendous progress in attaining professional status and influence in the Navy Medical Department. Today, the Medical Service Corps is the most diversified corps in the medical department. From its inception in 1947, the Medical Service Corps has enabled Navy medicine to effectively support the fleet and Fleet Marine Force. We can be proud of our solid record of service and achievement. We are the leaders of choice, poised to lead Navy medicine into the 21st century.
Several